Ann Summers' boss Jacqueline Gold has died at the age of 62, her heartbroken family have announced. The lingerie brand mogul Jacqueline was just 62 when she passed away. In her lifetime she faced a string of heartaches and tragedies, but also went on to achieve great things. She turned lingerie brand Ann Summers into the female and sex-positive brand that it is known as today, acquired Knickerbox and rose to prominence for her business know-how. She was even awarded a CBE in 2016. The business side of her life flourished and she even made the Sunday Times Rich list in 2019, but her personal life saw a number of tragedies. Speaking on the Diary of the CEO podcast in 2021, Jacqueline said at the time, "Anybody that's listening will not know the crusade I've been on." Childhood sexual abuse. In the Diary of a CEO podcast, Jacqueline spoke of her challenging and unconventional childhood. Jacqueline was sexually abused by her mother's former lover between the ages of 12 and 15. Speaking about the ordeal to Radio Times. In 2016, she said, "I've always been a survivor, and what happened to me I saw as cruelty, not sex. It was a matter of control, somebody else's control over me. I wasn't going to be a victim. It made me want to take control myself, to be successful. All through my life, I've been determined not to allow what's happened to me to shape my future." Jacqueline also claimed she believed her mother ignored the abuse. She told the Diary of a CEO podcast, "We weren't allowed to go to sleepovers or parties or anything like that. But then when it came to this abuse, which I believe she knew about, we were left in the most vulnerable situations. She was quite a complicated woman and we were in a pretty tough situation." Jacqueline added how finding financial independence was her escape. The businesswoman's mother Beryl Hunt died in 2003 after a battle with dementia. She told The Guardian in 2007, "My mother had dementia, she got it very young, probably when she was 63, probably brought on by alcohol. I never met anyone like her. The best way I can describe her is that she was almost scared of life. I remember when she was in her early 60s, I used to go round there twice a week, and she always had this innocent look. She'd be smiling, pleased to see me, and I put my arms around her and she'd stand there limp, arms by her side, as if she didn't know how to return love." Breast cancer battle. In 2016, Jacqueline was diagnosed with breast cancer and didn't speak about her diagnosis until a year later. Speaking of the secret battle for the first time in an interview with Hello! Magazine in 2017, Jacqueline continued to look on the bright side. She said, "In a perverse way, I feel that having cancer has given me an opportunity, and whilst I would in no way want it again, it has changed my life for the better." However, Jacqueline honestly said the journey had been brutal. She told Stephen Bartlett on his podcast, "It was a brutal journey, there was no doubt about that. But I remember saying things to myself like, when I have my next scan, the cancer is gonna be gone. And when I had my next scan in the January it had gone, or it wasn't on the scan. I then had an operation in the July, a lumpectomy, and I was told I was all clear and there was a 0.1% chance it would come back because it had such good response to treatment. Unfortunately, I was in that 0.1% 1%, and it did return a couple of years later, and I had a mastectomy, and when I spoke to the consultant he said, "It's not curable but it is treatable because it's now gone from stage 2 to stage 4, which was devastating to hear. I immediately said to him, "Well, what are the chances of it being cured? I know you're saying it's not curable, but we've all heard of people." "Oh yes, that's 0.1%, and my attitude is, well, if anyone's gonna be that 0.1%, it's gonna be me, because I have to think like that. That's what helps drive me forward. If I can be that 0.1% where it went wrong, I can be that 0.1% where it goes brilliant." Jacqueline previously discussed the toll the chemotherapy took on her, telling OK! Magazine in March 2020, "Anyone who has been through it knows how tough it is on your body. I lost my hair, which was really upsetting. It was actually the thing that made me cry the first time. That first clump of hair coming out really chokes you up. Women associate so much of their identity with their hair. But I knew it would grow back. But chemotherapy also made me lose my sight. My vision was very blurred, and things like crossing the road became a huge challenge. Thankfully, it's come back now, but for most of the year it was blurry." Baby son's death at 8 months old. Jacqueline and her husband Dan Cunningham, who was 17 years her junior, met in 2002. The pair had wanted to start a family and had tried for 9 months before they decided to undergo IVF. She went through 2 failed IVF attempts before they split in 2006. But, the couple reconciled and underwent fertility treatment in the US, and Jacqueline became pregnant with twins. Her pregnancy was filled with heartache as she was 12 weeks into her pregnancy that only one twin would survive. Jacqueline's son Alfie had a lobar holoprosencephaly, which prevents the brain developing normally during pregnancy. She previously told Loose Women, "At my 12-week scan I found out that he had a fatal condition. I was told he would pass naturally during the pregnancy." However, Jacqueline's pregnancy continued and Alfie was born and lived for 8 months. Recalling her heartache over hearing her son cry in pain, she told Loose Women, "It was immensely traumatic. Because of his condition he was born in pain. No parent should have to go through that. We try to keep his memory alive, we talk about him all the time, we've got pictures of him everywhere." Jacqueline and Dan raised their daughter Scarlett. She previously told the Daily Mail of raising her daughter, "The most natural thing for a mother is the need to make everything right for her baby. I can do that for Scarlett, but I can't for Alfie." Attempted poisoning. Jacqueline employed a nanny before her son's death as she needed all the help she could get. The lingerie brand mogul employed Alison Cox, whom she said she trusted implicitly to help raise her daughter. Jacqueline recalled how she had another woman who would do odd jobs and help her with things such as prepare meals, but Jacqueline was unaware Alison didn't get on with the other woman she employed. The nanny, instead of coming to me and being like, "Look, I've got a problem here, can we talk about it?" she thought the best tactic would be to get the cook the sack. So she thought, "I know I'll start off by putting copious amounts of sugar in the food after she's prepared it." So I came home from work and I sat there and I cooked dinner, everything seemed fine and we had fish, and when we sat there to eat the fish the sauce tasted like custard. Jacqueline said she dismissed the first incident, but a few weeks later the same thing happened again. This time it was salt. "And I thought, there's something wrong here," she explained. "And I obviously needed to talk to the lady who was doing the food, so that's what I had arranged to do." However, before she spoke to the cook, she asked her nanny to bring her lunch into work one day after she left it at home. On the way to dropping Jacqueline's lunch off, the nanny poured screen wash into Jacqueline's soup. Jacqueline recalled, "I came to eat it at lunchtime. Luckily, I took quite a large mouthful, and the reason I say that is because I don't think I would have tasted it otherwise. And I spat it out because immediately it tasted of chemical. Of course, screen wash can kill you." She added how her instinct told her the nanny was responsible. Alison Cox was later jailed after she pleaded guilty to unlawfully administering poison in 2010. Alison later apologized to the lingerie boss as she said, "It was a terrible thing to do. But I am not a poisoner, I never meant to hurt anyone, and I want Jacqueline to know how truly sorry I am." Father's death. Weeks before her own tragic death, Jacqueline's father David Gold died. The joint chairman of West Ham United died aged 86, with Jacqueline and her sister Vanessa by his side. West Ham confirmed the news in January this year as his fellow chairman David Sullivan said, "On behalf of everyone at the football club, it is with profound sorrow and a heavy heart that we mourn the passing of our colleague and friend, David Gold. Of all our joint ventures, none gave us more pride and happiness than the day we took ownership of West Ham United, our club, in January 2010. David had a long-standing connection with the Hammers, having grown up opposite the Bowling Ground in Green Street, and represented the club at junior level. He always wanted what was best for West Ham United, and his passing is a great loss for all of us. If you've been a victim of sexual assault, you can access help and resources via www.rapecrisis.org.uk or calling the National Telephone Helpline on 0808 802 9999. If you have been affected by this story, advice and support can be found at the Miscarriage Association. You can call them on 01924 2000799 or email info@miscarriageassociation.org.uk.